Hey yo, it's your boys, and welcome back to another episode of the MacBroz Show. Hey, yeah, right. It's your boys, and welcome back to another episode of the MacBroz Show. This ain't a podcast, this a movie you should binge it. Josh and Darius going Mac mode, better listen. Best friends, but them bullets doing long distance. Pulling up with heavy metal, put you on a hit list. I know you missed this, they all in attendance. Trying to stack bands and inspire the children. I said stop playing with them, but y'all didn't listen to MacBroz. They back on a mission.
Welcome everybody to the MacBroz Show. This is episode 84. My name is Josh, also known as JWeath on the internet. My co-host Deez Gaines is not here tonight. He is out. So you got a solo show for me tonight. We don't have a guest or anything like that. So it's just me and you guys. So during the live feed, if there's a question you want to weigh in on, if you want to join with me on the show, feel free to raise your hand. I'll bring you in. I'll get your opinion, or if you have a live question for me to ask, just not politics or religion, I just don't touch those topics, then feel free and we'll get you in. But before we start the show, I want to talk about a few things that are going on right now to keep you guys apprised of things you might be interested in. The first would be down here in Florida, the United States Concealed Carry League is kicking off March 29th in just about a week from now. It is my league of choice. It's the only league I've participated in, honestly, but it's a great entry-level league to get into competition. It's a great way to practice your concealed carry, and it's low cost when it comes to ammo, low cost when it comes to time, and it's a really good time down in Ruskin, Florida. So if you are interested in participating in the Concealed Carry League, I recommend you go to practicescore.com or look for the U.S. Concealed Carry League here on Instagram. They have a page, and that's where they post the match results, and they get some feedback, and they just talk about when the next matches are going to be available to sign up for. So March 29th is the first one, and then I think they take a break until May, and then there's a heavy summer schedule. It's just usually the last Sunday of the month. So if you are looking to get into competition, or if you're looking into just doing more concealed carry stuff, it's a great way to do that. All you have to do is provide your own firearm, have a reliable holster, and everything has to be concealed, whether it's from appendix or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, your shirt's covering it, or if you wear like a Florida shirt or a button-up and you're just covering your outside the waistband setup. As long as your garment covers your gun, you're good to go. And that's it. If you're a fanny pack carrier, I've seen people do that for fanny pack. I think that's super cool to see as well. So yeah, check that out. I won't be able to make it. I'll be at the future ones, and when those are, I'll make sure I announce it on the show. And if you are interested in shooting with me or Darius or anyone else that you know, reach out to us. We can always squad up. And if you see me at the competition, come say hi. I don't bite. I might just look like this, but you know, I've got my porta guns and stuff, and we can chit chat and talk about anything you want to talk about. So that would be the first important thing. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining the live. It is a heavy JWeath Q&A day. So I've got about 20 or so questions. I probably won't get through them all because I do have a lot of opinions on some of these. But before we get into the questions, I want to also mention another really important event, and that is GunCon. GunCon is available right now. The tickets are available right now. GunCon is this year, June 20th in Niles, Ohio. Don't ask me where Niles, Ohio is. I had to Google map it myself, but it's there. Looks like a decent spot. The Gun Collective, my friend John Patton, is putting on his 6th annual GunCon. Should be a great time. And tickets are available now. VIP tickets are sold out. They sold out in a day, which is killer. But if you do want to go to GunCon and you want to save 10%, you can use my code JW5. We'll save you 10% on your ticket, and the value is phenomenal. So I'm going to kind of go over really quickly what you get out of GunCon. So for the ticket price of $60, you get admission to the event on Saturday, June 20th, where you get to go through the conference hall, meet all the vendors, see all their products, meet all your favorite content creators, gun tubers, whatever you want to call us. There's a bunch of influencers, people of other public notoriety that are going to be there, not just YouTube people. So that's the first part, is that you get to do all that stuff. There's going to be several panels there. There's going to be a 2A panel, which is people are of influence within the 2A industry that are trying to make actual change, like people that are in the political arena or in the legal arena or in the historical arena. So those are folks that are doing way more than even little old me is doing. Then you've got the next gen panel. That's where I'm fortunately going to be part this year. So with me and a few other folks that are content creators that are up and coming in the industry, and we're going to be having a panel for you all to ask us questions as well. And then there's the, I forget what it's called. It's the OGs, or the ones that have been doing a long time. So a lot of the content folks that have been around for a while, the ones you probably already know of, they'll be there as well. Go to guncon.net. That's where you can, 1, get your ticket, and 2, see who's going to be on the panels. If you can't make it to GunCon, my first time I couldn't go, I was disappointed. There's going to be YouTube live streams of the panels. So you'll be able to catch some of those and actually participate. I did that a couple years ago where I typed in my questions like you guys can do here. And that's kind of how we started building a connection. Why is it JW5 but you save 10%? I didn't make the code, Vinny. That's just what John did. I don't know. JW5, use the code, test it out, see if it works. I'm sure it does. So with the ticket price, besides getting into the door, right, you get a GunCon t-shirt, which just say a t-shirt's 15, 20 bucks. You get usually a patch, so patches are not cheap. And then they also provide you a meal ticket, so they usually have food on site from a vendor or food trucks or something, so you get lunch paid for as well. And then you get all the other opportunity for stuff at the event. So I posted this week a video on my YouTube channel called Is GunCon Worth It? And it was from 2 years ago. I didn't make one last year because it was more of the same of goodness, just different people, different opportunities, different swag. But if you're looking to find out where does my money go or how does my money prove value to me, you can get hats and shirts and all types of merch, you know, so you can do that. But also there are going to be some brands showing products off that no one has seen yet. They're not showing them off at SHOT Show. They're holding them for GunCon. So you're going to get a chance to kind of see some never before seen stuff, which is pretty cool, I'm confident that my friends at Gideon Optics might have a prototype. Every year I go to GunCon, they have a prototype. 2 years ago, I got to see the Judge XL right here before it was released, and I kept saying I need this optic as soon as possible. And then 3-4 months after GunCon, it came out, and now I have like 4 of them. I just love them. So Gideon Optics, Judge XL. This is an RMSC footprint optic. It is literally just as big as the SRO or the 507 comp, and fits flush with the slide, which is great. So no excess overhang. You can use my code JWETH at Gideon Optics to save on an optic, and it's a pretty good deal there. So GunCon tickets, they're available, they're on sale now. There is limited supply. They do sell out. So we, GunCon, the folks running it, are trying to not throw 5,000-6,000 people in a room. Just get your ticket if you want to be there. It's an awesome time. Those of you that did get VIP tickets, congratulations. VIP's awesome. It's the first time they've made it available, and it's great that it sold out the first time ever. So that's really cool. If you do come to GunCon and you see me, don't be shy, say hi. I'm going to have some MacBroz stickers that I've ordered and probably some more MacBroz related stuff to give away. So feel free to see me. I'll be there with my lovely wife. We'll be having a good time there. And say hey. That's how we can be growing our friendships and building the community more. All right. The next part of the show is normally new business. So I was gonna wait to share this with Darius, but he's not available. So I'm gonna share it with you guys because I know you guys are pretty interested in this stuff. So last week, after the show went off the air over the weekend, I received 2 amazing packages in the mail, and they were both grip modules. And I think that the grip in your hand is quite possibly one of the most important pieces or components to a gun. It's what you contact with. What you determine is going to work for you. So the first one that I received is the ECM Precision R11 Edge. And so this one's video is coming out next week. So please check that out on the YouTube channel, JWEV 2.0 on YouTube. Just look up JWEV and you'll find me. So this one is a full dust cover for the fuse here. And the kicker with this one is that there is no grip panels. It's got swelling on the sides here of the grip, but also in the rear. The grip texture, you can probably see there towards the rear, it actually does bite back at you. I'm gonna give it a quick grip squeeze here. It's got like a dotted style grip, and you can see my hands. I have some dots on my hands now. So over time, with the gun recoiling, my skin's gonna get in there. But it on the side that it touches your body for appendix carry, it seems to be pretty reasonable, not too aggressive at all. So this grip is awesome. I like the R11. This is my second R11 I own. I have the original R11 here on my macro. So my macro and my fuse are pretty much the same, except this one has more of the ergonomics of a 2011. So this honestly feels similar to a Staccato C, which is what Darius has. If I grab my C2 here, you can see that there's too many C's in my language here. The fuse is still longer than the C2, but the C is longer than the C2. So I think this fuse will be similar to the Staccato C now with this fuller grip. I really like this grip a lot. It's really good value. The tool path on this is so clean and clear that it's incredible. It's really incredible. I had someone on YouTube who was ill-informed on how things work with the gun industry, saying that this and the R11 is a ripoff of Icarus Precision, and it's not. First of all, most of the guys that do this type of work are connected. They know each other. They're friendly. Second of all, I've had the Icarus Precision grip. The tooling is not nearly as seamless. I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying that there are no tooling marks on this one. And with the Icarus, it definitely is. Also with this one, you can definitely see that everything is sort of intentional. These double undercuts are really good too. So ultimately, it's a really, really good grip, I gotta say. And Mule, what's up, guys? Just going through a couple of things. Mayben's Garage, I hope your audio stuff does get fixed. Oh, you're home. I didn't think you were gonna make it home.
I just made it home, man.
No worries.
I pulled up. I'm still sweaty, bro. I just made it home.
No worries at all, man. No worries at all. Sorry, you're cutting out there for a second. You're a little choppy.
Is it clearing up?
You're a little choppy still. And I can't hear you. Might be your network connection. Still can't hear you, but we'll work through it. Okay. So that was the first grip module I got in the mail, guys. It is really, really nice. The texture is really good. If you are curious or if you're interested in this grip module, ECM Precision is the only place where you can find this particular one, the Edge. If you are interested in the standard R11, fun fact, SIG actually carries them now. So if you go to SIG, they have them as well, but also go to ECM Precision as well. They're both very good. But check out the video next week. On Thursday is when I'm trying to make my videos more consistent and available. So Thursday next week, probably 6 p.m. or something, the R11 Edge video will come out. The magwell is not there. The magwell I just removed because I'm sending it off to get paint matched with Monsoon to kind of match the slide. And those that are keeping score, yes, this was Darius's fuse, and he has my Mandalorian MMP. So that's what friends do, is they make trades, and help each other's addictions.
That looks
So
good though, man. That thing looks good, guys.
yeah, the
Like I love
texture
the
is super grippy. I was trying to explain to people. I don't know if you can see on the side, but from
yeah.
the side profile, it actually swells out here.
Okay, okay. So it fills the hand like a big. It gives you like a big gun vibe.
Yeah, I was just saying that I was comparing it to my Staccato C2, and it's definitely longer. So I feel like it's going to be, I mean, you have your C and a fuse. I feel like they're the same.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's close.
so with
Super
this
close.
grip being fuller in the hand here, especially back here,
Yeah,
um, so
dude.
I think it's,
The only thing you're missing is a bull barrel and a.
I'm saying, I mean, it's really, really good. I still got the NDZ Performance guide rod and recoil spring in here. So it's
Okay,
really
okay.
good. It's really
Have you
good. But
have
yeah,
you
I was
live
showing
fired it yet?
folks. Say again?
Have you live fired it yet?
No, I just got in over the last weekend and just been stuck in the office. But it will be live fired hopefully soon. But I
Okay.
was showing folks that the texture will get you a little bit, but if you squeeze it, I mean, it's definitely gonna. It's that dot style texture, so it's definitely gonna grab back at you. You can see it on my hands there.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. You want that
So
aggression when it's
yeah.
sunny out there.
So the other bit of new business, and then I've got a bunch of questions, dude. We got a bunch of questions people asked us, so we're gonna go through
Okay.
them.
I
The
don't
other
have. I'm not prepared with anything. I literally walked in and I was like, "Let me get on this show."
That's okay. If you weren't making it, I was gonna just answer questions, and if anyone wanted to join, still, guys, if anyone wants to join in, has an opinion, feel free. That's a beautiful part about being Americans is everyone has an opinion. So the other bit is the other grip module. So it was grip module day. I definitely stayed home and watched my mail like a hawk. Um, this is from Miller Precision. They are based out of Florida, so it's cool to support local companies when possible. This is currently on my Staccato P project. I have several videos coming out about this soon, but I want to make sure I schedule everything correctly. Interesting enough, the grip for the Miller Precision and the R11 have the same grip angle. I was actually looking at it and measuring it and kind of like doing some analysis of it over the past couple of days, and they are
Yeah.
almost exact because of the Miller having the grip safety like you have, where it's reduced or removed,
And yeah,
and then you've
that's
got
great.
this. And then the major difference is that this has a dot style as well. This is called dot matrix. So the dots are
Yeah.
just smaller on the ECM,
Okay. Okay.
whereas the Miller is a little bit bigger. This is their less aggressive of the two textures they offer. They also offer a diamond style texture. But for the folks that are curious, 'cause I don't know if it's been said out in public, yes, this is the same grip that Vulcan Machine Works uses. So it's not uncommon to see companies providing other companies with materials and parts and then them branding it or it being white labeled or enhancing it or something. So if you have a grip like this from
Yeah.
Vulcan
Yeah.
Machine Works, it's very likely the same thing. So this one does not have a magwell. You can add one. I chose not to because I like to run smaller pieces. I might eventually add one in the future, but it's very, very good. Has their own branding on the back there.
Oh, that's clean.
It's super, super smooth, super easy. The undercuts are very, very nicely done. So I really enjoy those. The weight feels pretty good. I mean, it definitely feels top heavy because of the difference of the slide and barrel and
Yeah.
the grip. But I'm excited to run this. It's definitely got to get Cerakoted and do all the things to it. And no, I haven't done a live fire with this because I gotta tune the trigger up a little bit, and then the uppers got to get ported. So this is more of a passion project that I'm working on. But the folks at Miller Precision, thank you guys for working with me on making this happen. I'm hoping in the near future, D and I can make a trip to their shop and kind of do a tour video for you guys to kind of show you how they do their stuff.
Yeah.
So follow them. Miller Precision, they've actually started making their own full gun, the Ranger
Yeah.
9, I
Ranger
believe.
9. Yep.
Yeah,
They got
looks
the
pretty
Ranger
sick.
9 comp port comp. They have a comp setup, a 4-inch setup. They have a plethora of pieces, but I don't know if they sell them from their shop. I think they have sellers So that'll be something that'll be interesting if we
I'm
can
not sure. I'm not sure either, but
apply
they
that.
do make a lot of really good stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then I addressed it in my video, but I'll address it here for you guys on the live. So this one is the compact, and it supports 16 round mag. So it actually supports the Gen 3 16 round mags that the C2 runs. That's
Mm.
the reason why I got this one. I could have went with the full size, like the standard Staccato P, but I wanted it to be able to support all of my C2 mags in the event that D and I go to some sandy range and my Staccato C2 craps out or my
Yeah.
P craps out. I can swap guns, use the same mags, just like my MMPs do. And
Yeah.
that was kind of important. But if you did want to go full size, you certainly could. If you want to get it colored, because this is just raw coating. If you want to get some black, I think it's like an anodized or something, you could do that. You get
Is
different
that
texture. So
does that have like a gloss on it, or is it like a matte finish? It's hard to tell from
it's
the
just a
camera.
matte finish.
Like a
You're
matte
getting
finish.
the
Okay.
overhead lights from the gym. But yeah, it's a
Got
matte
it.
finish. What I didn't key in on this until I started taking it apart and installing it.
Yeah.
Um, this mag release.
Yeah. That's a new, different geometry, right?
So it's different than standard Glock. Oh, sorry, standard Sig. I'm saying wrong ones. Staccato. I
Yep.
say Glock because it is installed like a Glock. Give me a moment.
Really?
I'll break it down off camera because I don't want the internet to be the internet and flag me. But
Yeah.
with the standard Staccato mag releases, you got that like little Allen key joint that you turn, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Inside here, I don't know if you're going to see it that well.
It's hard to tell, but oh yeah, I see it. I see it.
So you see that
Yep.
channel there? It's just
Yeah.
like a Glock install where you have that spring that's a rod. You
Yeah.
put it in the
Nice.
channel. You use like a flathead or a pick or
To
something, and then
move
you
it.
just move it up and over, and then you got a standard magazine release. And then this one is
Is it?
ambi.
It
Yep,
is.
so it's smooth on this side.
Is it ambidextrous? Can you switch it?
It is swappable. So ambi is not both sided, so it is swappable. So
It is swap. Okay.
So you can swap this side to this side. This side is smooth. It doesn't protrude. Like it's actually perfectly smooth. It doesn't
Nice.
protrude out at all. Um, and
That's
it's
some
super
that's
quick.
some great geometrical enhancements, man, especially for the hand.
Oh yeah, it's super easy to access. It's weird. It's like the best of some of the other platforms that you would
Yeah.
want. And then it's all in one complete package. I mean,
Like, dude,
the removal of the grip safety, bing bong, great, awesome. The texture of what you want for something elevated, improved. Undercuts, undercuts are awesome. And then the
yep.
mag release is super cool too. Some of the stuff that they run is proprietary to their stuff. So on their website, you can use some of your other stuff. Like you could run a mainspring housing from your Staccato or whatever you're converting over to.
Because
And
you
this
wanted
supports multiple grips too. This supports Staccato, Prodigy, anything. Put it like this: anything that runs like a Gen 2 grip, this
yeah.
can support.
Okay.
Gen 3, like your C and CS, it won't support. But
Okay.
this will support the Gen 2 stuff really well, which is pretty awesome. So,
So you could
um,
put that on your C2.
yes, so there's a picture actually that's out right now where I swap my C2. Now, I swap just the slide and barrel. I could swap the frame if I wanted to. If I
How
like
is
this
that?
enough, I might swap. Like, I like my C2 grip a lot because it's just heavily custom, and
Yeah.
the bottom ramen also bites back.
Okay.
I mean, this is perfectly balanced. Like, there's no questions, concerns, issues. This adds more weight, so it kind of pulls it back in your hand a little bit more,
Yeah.
which is still really good. I think the main difference, and I would share it with the folks that aren't familiar. So if you see where the frame ends, the frame on the C2 ends here. This is
Okay.
all the barrel and the bushing for it, right? See where it ends now?
Yep.
The P is just a little bit longer, but the C2 fits right up to it. Actually,
Oh,
since I'm taking requests on the live, I'll show you the difference.
that's
But it gives a
amazing.
little bit more balance, which is balance is always good. You always want balance in life in general.
You're gonna put
So
an X300 on the C2.
say again.
I said you're gonna put an X300 on the C2.
That would be not balanced.
Get all that nose weight, dude. All the nose weight you can.
This is not 2015 or whatever year that was when everybody's doing the roll-in specials.
Uh,
Um, yeah, so let's see here. So I'll do this off camera so I don't get flagged for it anywhere. Da-da-da-da.
my staccato is off screen because I was carrying it today. It's over there on my desk.
1 second. Hey, staccato people. How annoying is the plungers always kicking out on the
Oh,
or the front end of your barrel? I always have to do that a couple times.
yeah, because it
That's
doesn't
super.
line up properly.
Exactly. It's not perfectly aligned, which is perfectly annoying.
So you got these two lowers, right? They're very similar. Did you use a brake, a caliper, tool to see? I'm curious comparison like width wise and front to back wise.
I
Because
don't
they
have
look
that
close.
tool. I don't have that tool. I definitely want there. I want to get that, but just for the sake of conversation, ignore this sticking out. Just see where the dust cover for the P ends and the C2. So it's flush. It's pretty much
Yeah,
flush mount. So
that's
this
crazy.
is now like perfectly, everything is perfectly aligned.
Oh,
So I
yeah,
could run this versus running the longer P. But I love the grip that Vinny did on the C2. Um, so I guess it's just up to your prerogative if you want metal versus polymer.
yeah.
Pros and cons to both of those. We've talked about that before as far as recoil mitigation or
How?
absorbing recoil, right?
Yep, yep,
So there's pros and cons to it. I definitely am going to experiment running both in both configurations.
yeah.
Yes, Mason. Yes, Mason. There's nothing worse than putting together HD. I've heard that. I've heard that that is not fun to put back together.
Yeah.
Very likely why, besides the fact that my pockets are light, probably why I'll never get one is the maintenance process.
Oh, taking it, disassembling and reassembling it.
That's what I
I can't
hear.
see the chat. I can't see the chat either.
No worries. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to questions that were submitted. And while I put together the staccato, I'm going to have you answer the first part of the question. It actually came from Mason. Mace Cleve, our friend.
Okay.
You didn't meet Mason yet. Mason is related to our buddy Brett at Artillery.
Oh,
So,
nice.
so literally family. So
I have a small circle of friends, and Brett's in that circle. So if you're a friend of Brett, you're a friend of mine.
he's family. He's related. So he's family by requirement. But I will say,
Nice.
my wife actually met Brett this week, and she was like, "Hey, he's actually pretty decent dude. Not what you'd
Yeah.
expect." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I keep good company. Not all my friends are d bags. Just some of them.
Just
But
one.
so Mason's first question is, and I
Yeah.
apologize while I'm kind of preoccupied, because I'm still trying to make this line up. It's super annoying. Um, is Trijicon falling off?
Ooh,
He is out in the Southwest, I
okay.
believe, out in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. He just had a student with an RMR HD, and it kept going on and off on him. So, what is your opinion? Do you think Trijicon is falling off? You run the SRO a ton.
Yeah, I have SROs on everything, and I always have to preface this. I have had an SRO go down, a brand new one actually. I think I maybe got 50 rounds in it, and the red dots was a single dot, and it split to two dots, two half dots like this in the same glass. I sent it back. Trijicon warranted it, fixed it, no problem. I think it took about 2 weeks. I don't know if Trijicon, again, I'm giving an opinion. I don't know if they're falling off the map. Um, but I definitely think I believe that they're getting some pressure from these companies that are coming out with some pretty stellar stuff, man. Um, so that's how I feel about that. Now, is it a battle of resources, right? You have the people that are putting together the components that go into the SRO. Are we still manufacturing and getting that same quality, or are we kind of like trying to make some bottom dollar here and going less quality? Who knows, right? Say they decide they want to change the glue up that
Yeah.
whole certain circuit board together. because they can save, I don't know, let's say 15 cents, but you do 15 cents over a million products.
Oh
That
yeah.
adds, man. So who knows if they're using less product, less quality of a product to save more money, but still operate with the name of the Trijicon name. Because that's what we've been seeing a trend of. And please correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, is we've been seeing a lot of companies still using their name as like the de facto for quality. But there's so many new players in the game that
Yeah, that's fair.
the it's I don't know if you can use that anymore.
Yeah, I think for some brands, their brand's identity um, is still there, but I think that
Yeah.
their identity as being the differentiator in the market has to change. I think that um, a lot of companies, and I'm not thinking gun industry, a lot of companies had a brand identity because they always made fresh this or always used certain ingredients.
Yeah.
And then, let's just go really quickly because it's a simple example. Long time ago, before you and I were probably around, our parents grew up with McDonald's, and it was
Yeah.
made with certain types of oils and ingredients. And over time, those ingredients change for the sake of what you just talked about, saving a few bucks, or the
Yeah.
costs went up from the suppliers. And then they changed that. And then recently they're like, we're going back to the original recipe. And honestly, I don't know why. I don't have any insider information to McDonald's, but
Yeah.
you would wonder, oh, is it because we as the American public are willing to pay that amount of money now
Yeah.
that it can justify their investment in the materials?
Right.
So I go back to the question with Trijicon. I don't know if Trijicon is falling off. I like to think last week when I talked to the 9 to 5 Tactical guys, they had a great outlook on it. They had a couple lemons of guns that they got in from brands, and when I say for brands, they bought them themselves. Um, and I think it's more about how you handle when something fails as a
Uh,
organization. Now, I think
Brand.
if something's habitual, like we won't talk about the fact that today is 320 day, um, and Tony from Laugh and Load posted that it's also National Tourniquet Day. So we'll put those two numbers aside. But I think that if your optic of choice has a problem, how does the company handle that? I think it's what you really want to pay attention to. Now, if you have a persistence, then it might give you concerns for reliability, and then I would definitely say move away from that. But like you and I have talked about in the past, I've had bad experiences with Fords. Other people have not. You and I have got good experiences with Toyotas. Other people have not. So we have to think about a lot of stuff is being mass produced, even if it's being, in the U.S. or overseas or whatever the process is and what special engineering they do that they want to say is our proprietary thing. Things happen,
Yeah.
products fail. That's the nature of consumerism.
Yeah.
But how you respond to the failure, how your customer service team is, how you warranty stuff, all those things is really what's going to determine if it's going to go well or not. I mean, you've got some of these people that will definitely stress test, and I mean, I've thrown optics and banged things and stuff like that before, but there's also like an expectation. Like we both came into the game when we saw the SRO and said, this is not meant for duty, in our opinion. We
Yeah.
have concerns. And then not that kind of duty, but we know one of our brothers went to take a duty and his gun fell from just like knee height and then he
Yeah.
cracked.
Yeah.
And I've had some people that say they've had their gun in tons and tons of avenues and it never failed. So
Yeah.
it's always situational. I don't think Trigicon's falling off. I think that if anything, Trigicon's value point, their price point, I
It,
think that's where it's a little off base
it's getting
because, like you said, the competition. Yeah,
yeah, it's getting brought to the table,
I think so. I think
and
that
that's good.
you're
That
yeah, I think it's good. Competition's healthy. Yeah,
Yeah, competition is healthy. I'm a huge proponent of there are some optics that are budget friendly for the average person. Um, You know, certain things you hear people talk about aim point as well. Aim point makes amazing optics, like absolutely amazing optics. I haven't heard too many bad stories about aim point, but that comes with a high dollar cost, right?
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. And I
And
think
those optics that people want to take into a battlefield, and then you have your optics to compete with, you have your optics you want to EDC with.
yeah.
I think just match your budget with what you want, honestly.
I think that's part of it, right? I think that everybody's going to have their own reason why they purchase a certain optic,
Yeah,
and a lot of it's going to be because of, I might be a little crass here. I think a lot of it's going to be what Trijicon probably invests a lot of their money in that they get from these government contracts, which is brand awareness and marketing. I
yeah,
think that if you were to ask any person that's new to guns, do you know anything about red dots? If they said yes, they'd probably say Trijicon is the first thing they've heard of. They're not going to talk about Viridian, Sealy, Gideon, Osite. They
yeah,
don't know those. I would consider them alternative brands, not the mainstream. I
yeah,
would consider those the folks that are doing just as good, but are not the ones that everyone knows where to get. And very likely, from what you and I've learned in our very, I would say, our young career in the gun industry still. Um, Most people think you have to buy guns in person. Most people think you have to buy ammo in person and everything else in person. So if you
yeah,
find a gun shop like our local gun shop, they have belts and holsters and ammo and guns and optics and every single thing you could want, and magazines.
yeah,
It's limited to what they hold in store. So if you are a big brand, you can put product out to multiple distributors. So you're going to see Trijicon everywhere. So because of that volume of distribution, you're going to
yeah.
have failures. Now, to the person who had the problem with the optic going on and off, I would also say verify your battery cap is screwed in all the way. I had that problem with one of my optics from Gideon. My Gideon, granted, it's not near me, but it has a side battery tray like an aim point, and I didn't have it tight enough, so I feel
Oh,
like an idiot.
and to add to that, the battery that is provided by the uh, company, yeah, they give you a battery, but I highly recommend going and buying your own battery because sometimes those batteries, you don't know how long the battery's been in that case.
That's
Especially,
true. That's true.
yeah,
That's just a fair rule of thumb.
yeah.
You know,
I have,
you might.
I, yep, I had one from Gideon. I popped the battery in that he provides. It lasted like a half a range session and died. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I just put a new one in and it ran.
Right. My guess
Yeah.
is it's probably the assembly process of we get the optic, let's put a battery in it, let's turn it on. Yep, it turns on, it's good. Everything else pre-production, like fitting
Yep.
and gluing, is all good. Okay, and then it sits on the shelf. And then by the time you get
Yep.
it, it's probably turned off, but it's also probably still losing energy, right?
Yeah.
So, it's just how long has it been sitting? I don't know.
Exactly.
So yeah, I would recommend that's the first thing you do is when
Yeah.
you get your optic, swap the battery out and then zero
I,
it.
I will say this, and I know we've been on this subject. The last piece of the Trijicon talk for me is that the options. I feel like the Trijicon options are falling short behind the curve of what everybody else
I
is.
agree. I agree. But
That that's honestly the deciding factor for me. I have SROs because I bought them a while ago, and I'm just gonna keep them
yeah,
on there. But if they start failing, or when they start failing, because not if, because it's a matter of when. Optics are not meant to survive forever, guys. Just
yeah,
FYI that. They do have a round count timeline. Um, but if my SROs start failing, I'm definitely going to be shopping for
something else.
newer, yeah, something else.
Yeah,
I think
I think
I
that's the other thing, right? With
I got
Trijicon,
those side coming in, and we're going to test.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, O sites are pretty good, man. I would
yeah,
say they're very impressive for what they offer. I was gonna say the other thing is that when you think about Trijicon and their limited options, you have to think about who the primary clients are. It's not us, the
yeah,
civilians. It's the military
yeah,
law enforcement. So they are having a very specific uh, product line for them, and then it just sort of works for us.
yeah, yeah,
And the SRO was kind of a consumer driven product for competition, but it's
Yeah.
also for some Leos that makes it work. But if you look at everything they're talking about durability, longevity.
Yep.
They weren't talking about feature set. Like the SRO is, as I mentioned this in a video I made like 2 years ago, and it's still on my channel now. When I compared the 507 comp to the SRO, I said the 507 comp has so many features, it's
Yeah.
half the price, if not more. Why would you not go the SRO? But the thing is, if you wanted just a dumb optic that just has a dot and that's it, get the
Yeah.
SRO. Well, listen up, folks. The new 407 comp that's out,
Yep.
that is literally the 507 comp without all the features, just dot only, and
Yep.
it's even more affordable.
Yep.
So you're getting the best of both worlds. You don't want to pay for all the features and have to have all
Yep.
that extra bells and whistles, but then you pay less, and now you have a simpler dot. So 407 comp. I may or may not be getting one of those in the near future.
That would be a good comparison. So we'll
Yeah,
provide you guys options if you're in the market. I mean, obviously you have YouTube videos to check that out, but
yeah, yeah.
we'll
We'll
definitely put
definitely
them
be
under
doing that.
yeah, we'll definitely put them under some competitiveness and
Okay.
some.
All
What
right.
else we got?
Mason, thank you for the question. Please don't be shy. Send those questions in, guys. The next question is, and this is actually a pretty good one. What is something non-gun people misunderstand about gun culture?
What is something? Okay, I'll choose one. Um, you know, when you and I showed gun related stuff on Facebook, I personally got messages way early on, guys. This is when it was like uh I was posting on Instagram, but I wasn't posting on Facebook. I started like leaking some stuff out on Facebook. I
Yeah.
was getting from people, they're like, "You're in the United States, you don't need a gun." And I'm like, "What? You sound like a person that doesn't have kids." And matter of fact, that person didn't have kids. So
Yeah.
there's my answer. I have kids. I have a wife. I have a family. I can't always use my fists, man. If I have to just use my fists, um, and it's justified for me to have to pull a weapon, I'd rather have the same tools that the bad guys have.
Fair.
So
Yeah.
that's the one thing I've seen people say that are non-gun people. They question a gun person saying you don't need to
Yeah.
have guns. You're safe in America. That is crazy.
It, it's funny. I interact with a few folks that are not gun people, in my work life, and they've gotten wind of, I'm a gun guy, I guess is the term, and that's kind of weird, because I think that term kind of lumps a lot of people in,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of people that are into guns,
Yep.
but they have different ways of doing it. Um,
You got
and
collectors. You
you
have
got collectors, you got preppers, you got
yep.
doomsdayers, you got competitive people, you got
Yep.
just hobbyists.
Yep.
You got a lot of things there's a lot of labels and names and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I think that we're trying to promote or bring awareness to is the intimidation factor of it, the scariness of it. I think a lot of gun people think, like that person told you, similar note,
No. Yeah.
you don't need one. Well,
Right.
in the good old US of A, we get them, and
Right.
it's what liberated us for the founding of our country. However, all that being aside, there are a lot of good things that being a part of gun culture has brought us. Now, not everyone exudes that. And I think that that's kind of unfortunate when it comes to the lens of what we're showing out in the public is usually the negative stuff, is the extreme stuff.
Yeah.
But we are trying to promote positivity, self-sufficiency, reliance, confidence, an idea that if you are not able to protect yourself in a physical manner, you can utilize another means, a force to protect you, your family, to see another day.
Yeah.
But also, it can be a fun avenue as well. It can
Right.
be therapeutic. It can be an avenue where you build friendships, you build sisterhood, brotherhood, you can
Conditioning.
build community.
Conditioning. Like you can do
There,
tactical
there's
training for conditioning.
Right.
Like,
I say tactical
uh,
games sounds like a great thing. Give me a couple years in this gym, and
yeah,
that might be something we talk about. But
yeah,
I think that when you think about, and I always go back to my previous hobbies. So I used to play a lot of basketball. So I'd go pick up hoops, and after a while, it would get escalated into fisticuffs because people have egos. They don't like getting crossed up or dunked on or whatever it is, even though it's just for fun. No one's getting paid to do this. You want to just go back home to your baby mama and have a good meal and be done.
yeah,
And no scouts watching you. So who gives a crap if you get dunked on or not? I've got dunked on tons of times. I'm sure it happens. So and I thought, like, so what is basketball doing for me? Well, it's helping me make friends. Sure. It's also helping me make enemies, and it's also helping me condition and do all these things. But like when I go home, all I am is a sweaty mess, right? I can't really basketball my way out of an altercation, right?
yeah,
So there was that. I used to golf. Golf was also therapeutic. It was quiet, still competitive, still required me to do something that required practice, mental strength, and focus. A very, very difficult game to get good at. But there's also the other side of it, which is we're outside for 4 or 5 hours away from our families and getting drunk and doing different things. And it's usually not necessarily the most positive of the male factor. A lot of the men that I used to golf with, it was never how happy their home life was. It was always I'm out of the house for 5 hours because I can't stand this or that. And
yeah,
that's not good energy to be around. I always look at the energy I want to be around is what's going to help me improve in life. And then guns came into play. And you'd think for a non-gun person, something loud, dangerous, utilized to take a life, which I say it was primarily intended for hunting. So that was a primary use.
yeah,
Um, and then, you know, fast forward 7+ years, and we've been to two gun cons,
yeah,
training events, building
yeah,
friendships. We've built up the Squad Drills group with the guys. We're building the MacBroz. We've got people watching us live. We've got a podcast people listen to. Like there is community here, and I
yeah,
think that whether you're a woman that's looking for community and you're afraid, there are a lot of women only things that are out there and they're
yeah,
underrepresented, but there's a lot of our guys, locally are doing women only events.
yep,
Fantastic. If you are a minority, there's minority only groups as well. Fan freaking tastic. I like going to those because then I'm the minority, you know, you know.
yeah,
So and then we talk about that feeling of camaraderie. I mean, you and I talk every time we go compete or do a range day, and it's a 4, 5, 6 to 10 of us. It's always laughs and good times, but
yep,
also productive. And so we're
yeah.
still having a good time. And then there's a benefit of learning about something we're doing good,
Product,
learning about something we're doing bad.
productive and safe. I think that's what most
Absolutely.
people don't know is that you can use these tools and still be safe.
Yeah.
It's no dangers. It's no difference than the dangers of operating a lawnmower.
Yeah. I think
You
if you
can
do
hurt.
anything, if you do anything hazardously or without the proper safety protocols, you're gonna have a bad time. Like
Right.
like I'm not a big fireworks person because I don't want to lose a finger. There are people that I know that do them well and they're safe and they have distance and all that stuff. And there are people that are just like shooting fireworks off each other. You can just say, I'm into fireworks or pyrotechnics, and that's cool. That can be your thing
Yeah.
too. But they're whatever your interest is, I think as long as you're doing it safe, even like cars and
Yep.
racing them, don't do street racing and takeovers. Don't do that nonsense. I don't want to see your Hellcat out there doing nonsense. Take
Hitting
it to a
somebody.
track. Be
Yeah. Yeah.
safe, right? Or
Yep.
just go to a car show and show off your stuff you dumped your money into, right? Like that's cool too.
Yep.
But I think the gun community gets a lot of flack because the primary thing is that it's guns.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
the
think,
news out. The news media.
yeah, that's the media doing that. And
Yeah.
when I've got a couple people at work that have talked to me about it a little bit more,
Yeah.
and they can tell that I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about it because it's brought me so much joy. It's brought me so much opportunity. And I want people to be able to experience that, or at the very least, be comfortable with something that could help you, or be confident, but not, but not confident thinking you know stuff, and then you don't know a damn thing.
Yeah.
confident and you can actually be performative, right?
Yeah.
So I think the gun community gets a lot of flack as far as it being intimidating. Like if you want to be Master Chief and camoed out and all that stuff, cool. That's do what you want to do. I'm not knocking that. That's not my vibe. Our bright pink and blue and all that stuff that we do, probably not your vibe either. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, if we're there to learn something, do something safely, accomplish some performance, and be lighthearted about it, cool. If you want to be a drill sergeant about it, that's cool too. That's your style. But I think that's where people get the gun community wrong, is they think that it's a bunch of preppers and doomsdayers and intimidating people and militia and just all this stuff about intimidation. And I don't think that's what it's about. From my lens, I think the way it grows is like I could see where we have a like on base. I used to live on a cul-de-sac a long time ago, and if I knew that me and like my 6 or 7 neighbors, we were all into doing gun stuff, I would say we got a pretty safe neighborhood,
Yeah.
and we could also like be pretty well rounded and learn
Yeah.
and grow and build community, like do things of old, build good community together. So I think that that's what our boy Gamage and Durand and Jamarcus and a bunch of others that are local are trying to do
Yeah.
is make that happen. And Kevin Dixie with Train and Learn, and I've got his cup today. My guy Double Tap Coalition. They're always talking about doing something to build community. I think it's beautiful. I think it's wonderful. I think that the media just sensationalizes a lot of the unsafe stuff, people without glasses or ear pro or sideways shooting or full auto stuff or camo militia. I think there's just a lot of that being brought up because there's a lot of political things associated with firearms regulations.
Yeah.
So I would say it's not as bad as it looks. I think it's just
The optic.
the optics are
The
bad.
optic.
Someone
Yeah.
I know closely at work asked me straight up, how can you be a gun guy? You're so nice. You're into tech and all this stuff. And I said, so do you? So I asked them flat out, and I was trying to be kind about it. And I said, and I know they're Muslim, and I said, how do you feel when you think that someone says all Muslims are terrorists? And they said, that hurts my heart. And if that's not true, that's just something that the media or certain pockets of the media have sensationalized because of current events. And I said, okay, how do you think I feel when there's a mass shooting at a school?
Yeah.
People tell me I'm an idiot for having guns and being into them and making all these videos and carrying them every day. Like, that's not me. That's someone that has radicalized this and used it for its purpose that it's not intended for.
Right.
So,
Mental
in the
health.
same breath, give me the grace that I'm giving you because of our personal vantages point. So,
Yeah.
not to go too extreme there, but that's what I think is bad. So,
Yeah, man.
all right. That was a great question. I'm glad you guys sent that in. It got us thinking. So, next question would be, let me see here. I'm picking and choosing here.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not set up at all. I just got on the
No
call. So,
problem. I've been answering questions. I've got about 20 or so, but we're definitely not going to get them all. So we'll answer a few and get through.
yeah.
Okay. Uh, what shooting skill took you the longest to improve?
Ooh, man. This is actually,
Because you're probably still doing it now.
I'm still doing it now from concealment, guys. From concealment.
So what's the
I
skill?
huh?
What is the
The,
specific skill?
the skill itself is the development of consistency of the master grip during concealment. That, and even today, I didn't actually tell you because we talk all the time, but the last video that I posted shooting indoors, I actually changed my shooting style. I put myself in a more forward aggressive state. So almost like I noticed in some of my competitions, I would kind of deploy out and
Drop back.
small, crouch into pushing the firearm out to engage. I said, you know what? What would that look like if I was already ready, like in that position to push the gun out
Mhm.
aggressively? So I did it at the range and I was like, holy smokes. This for me is a game changer. It eliminates one variable that was unnecessary movement that I was not even noticing until I rewatched. So that consistent first pluck presentation, yeah, I think that for me is the hardest thing that has been tough, especially because we change guns so frequently.
Yep.
That is literally the first. That is the hardest for me.
No,
The
that's good.
change now, with the staccato, I have to disengage the safety. That's a new thing for me because I've been striker fire boy my whole life. So yeah, that first initial clutch purchase punch out, that's the beans for me.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike Glock says you gotta love the discovery phase when learning new skills. It's that aha moment. It's a
Yes.
peak moment. Yeah.
You want to know what's funny? Again, I can't see the feed, so if my Glock's in here, I picked that up from watching you. I watched myself. I watched.
He's got that little like extra.
Yes, I watched
Yep.
how he did it. I was like, man, he's getting out quick. All right. I watched myself. I watched what you did. I watched myself. I watched what you did. I said, aha, I see it now. I see what he did. I took what you did. I put it into the indoor range because I needed it to be closed off. I needed no variables on weather or sunlight or
Yeah, yeah.
anything. Needed me and the gun. And I did what you did indoors. And I was like, this motherfucker. I was like, this guy, he's got the sauce. I saw it. I'm a believer, so I appreciate you, Kai. You helped me out without even knowing you helped me out, just because I watched what you did, and I was like, yeah, that's the PB and J right there. So
Yeah.
I threw it into my repertoire, man.
Kai salutes you. He appreciates
Yes,
that. I know
sir.
Kai's laughing too.
Yes, sir.
Um, Shooting skill for me that's taken me the longest to improve. Speed. Speed is hard. I've
Speed,
always
at
been.
what point of the speed? Like, which part of speed in
Uh,
moving,
I
speed
I
in picking up your first target, speed
I
in.
would, yeah. So I think I'm gonna be lame and say applying speed to everything.
Okay.
So at first it's we're talking about at first it's the reaction speed to the timer when we're thinking competitive or training.
Okay.
That skill set I'm still working on. I'm not getting it at the right spot. I'm not doing it early enough, and it's just because a lack of repetition in rounds. I'm good with that. I understand that. Speed on the draw. Being fast and consistent is difficult because you can be consistent and diligent and your speed slows down. Being fast and consistent is hard, and then going to a speed that unlocks more
Yeah.
is where I'm really trying to get to, but then the wheels fall off. So I know that I have to back down, but eventually, like I'm in the gym, eventually you build up to that point that you can get there. So it's just getting there. It's very frustrating, but it takes time, and it just consistency takes time. Then it's speed through targets and keeping on the throttle. So I would say when I look back at my videos, and then I looked back at a few other people's competition videos at the same stages we've done, I noticed there's a difference in when I'm ending my stage for whatever reason, I slow down. It's like I'm coming to the end of my journey on the course, and it's like my splits are speeding up in the middle, in the very beginning, middle, and towards the end. Even though the targets might be the same distance,
Yeah.
it's just like if I was to give you sort of a drum cadence, my splits might be bang, 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 and then bang, bang. And the last two is just like, why? Why am I slowing down? Why am I not blowing through that? Why am I not on some of these stages where I can go downhill,
Yeah.
running all the way through it, and on the last bit, just running and just catching the last target and then going out of bounds? Why am I not pushing the throttle that hard? And I think it's just being comfortable going that fast. I think it's one of those things that, like, when we drive,
Yeah.
if you had asked me at what age did I ever get to in a car over 100,
Yeah.
I would say probably not till I was in my 20s, because when I was a teenager, I wasn't comfortable with that.
Right.
Just visually control all that stuff. And the same thing is going with the gun. I want to make sure that the targets are being hit. I want to make sure I have complete control. Getting to speed and finding myself not having control, I back down. So again, like we're talking about, building that consistency of going that fast, training my eyes and hands and everything to be okay with that speed, and then building myself up to being that the new norm is where I have to get.
I think,
That's it. That's
and
just
I
speed's hard. Speed's very hard.
since we're all very open and you and I both are good at taking criticism, and I wrote uh, good and bad criticism, right? Um, I feel that you and I change guns so frequently that in order to build that speed, I feel like you have to dedicate to one thing for a little bit longer than anything else because your mind is
Yes.
constantly changing. So
Yeah.
it's the focus is constantly like, oh crap, this is a different platform. Here we go. Now your focus has changed. And now you go to like an M&P. Then you're like,
Yeah.
here we go. You know what I mean? Your mind changes. That's what I really think, dude. I honestly think if you
Yeah.
stuck with one gun, that speed, everything, all the other stuff would come so fast. It would come.
Oh yeah, I think I don't doubt it. I mean, Kai agrees with you. He thinks it's the same. Christian Tutak in the live is saying it's hard to be fast and keep up good accuracy. Absolutely, and I think that the other thing that a lot of people, myself included, not as much lately, but earlier on, was that recognizing that speed changes at distance.
Yeah,
And we've talked with Vinny and a few others about that, is that anything that's close, the speed should be as fast as you can go. Anything that's mid range is a comfortable level, and anything that's deep, it means slow it down.
yep,
And you can utilize other training methods like confirmation level, how much of the dot you see, whether it's a solid dot, a steady blur, or a streak, all
yep,
those other training terms. But I agree with you. I agree with you. When I stick to the MMP consistently, and the only reason that is just because of time behind that gun.
yeah,
If I use a different gun consistently, it's going to get there. And that's why I held up my staccato C2 because I'm confident that's what it's going to be. I
yeah,
love my MMP. I know I can go fast with it. I'd like my staccato more. It's just going to be
I,
what I'm going to run. So it's going to get as much attention. Now, if I have any mechanical failures or concerns about reliability, then I might have to rethink that. But once I have those problems, then speed goes back down because I'm worried about the gun, right?
yeah,
And when I told
yep,
you when I did competition without you a couple of times, the gun was never a concern. The M&P never was a concern for me. Never had a problem, except
yeah,
for maybe like a reload. I felt like it's a me problem, not a gun problem. The speed was there. Like the speed was gonna be there. I just have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Over time, that'll be there. It's just like we see people that shave time off their stages or off their training sessions. It's just because of repetition and unlocking what you didn't realize is potentially there. That's all it is. I think that just how fast to get the gun up, sub-second draws, all that stuff. That's just time,
yeah,
and pushing. And then when we say, okay, we're going to go to point 0.8. Okay, cool. Can you do point 0.7? Never can. We'll keep pushing for that. And then it's
yeah,
okay, if you want to do a 4x4, you got to have your gun out in half a second. Oh, I've
yeah,
never done that. Well, the guys
right,
that are trainers for a living and competitors for a living, they're doing that. So either get okay with not being that fast or
yep,
train like that. So
right.
yeah, speed is hard, guys.
It's a,
Speed is hard.
it's a,
Accuracy is the most important thing, I think, because if you're using a gun, you should be hitting your target you're aiming at, no matter
yeah,
what. But
yep.
if you're gonna go fast, it's hard. It's hard.
I
If
agree.
you can't be accurate, don't even try to go fast.
I agree with you, man. The last competition that I did, I know it was like 2 months ago or something like that, maybe a month and a half. I can't remember. Um, I actually pushed the speed of the staccato the hardest that I have done when I first got it. When I first did the first competition, and we got it back.
Yeah.
I, not, I'll tell you right now, dude. I knew the dot was there, where I was not confident with that pistol whatsoever. So
Yeah.
some of the shots I took, when I asked you, hey, what was the hits? You're like, these are good. I was like, I ain't see nothing. Bro, I put the dot on the target, I broke the trigger, and I moved on. If it hit, it hit. If it didn't, it didn't. The confidence was not there. But the last one, the speed was there, the confidence was there, and I was like, oh, okay. So I started to relax, and when I relaxed is when I was going faster.
But I understand. I totally relate with that, man. It's I would say my bit of advice for anyone that's trying to figure out um what D and I are both talking about. One, record yourself at
Yeah.
home. Record yourself doing dry fire. You don't have to show it for the gram or whatever. Not all dry fire gets shared. Do whatever you want, right?
Yep.
Record yourself doing all the things, whether it's moving, shooting, dry fire, whatever it is. Record yourself 1,000 times. You can just hit the phone. Do that. The second would be, um,
Do the slow mo too. Record yourself in slow mo.
yeah,
That helps out a lot. You
yeah.
can really
So
see what's going on.
absolutely what D's talking about, and you can adjust it on your phone where it speeds up, where it slows down, and that's where I noticed like a couple years ago that there was a range day with me, you, Gamage, Rowe, and a few other people, and the four of us were on a line.
Yeah.
And when we were shooting the same drill at the same time, and all the hits were almost at the same time, like a drum line. Like every hit was the same time. We're doing Mozambiques. But when I slowed it down and I saw all our different draws, and I saw
Yeah.
how I'm late on the draw, but I'm catching up because I'm bringing the gun up faster than you guys. I was playing catch up, and it's like, okay, did they slow down? Did I speed up? Where am I grabbing? Are my arms going up too high, too low?
Yeah.
Am I scooping? Am I pressing? It's a lot, right? I think that a common thing people say is that we are our own worst critics. I think when it comes to proficiency in firearms, you have to be critical of yourself.
Yeah.
If you are not, then you're full of shit. And a lot of people will just say, "You go, girl. You do that thing," and they're really full of shit too with you. So, uh, be honest with yourself. But I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing that's pushed me with my goals is being around better shooters than me,
Yeah.
people that are faster than me, people that are more accurate than me, people that are showing me things that are possible. Because, I recall doing a competition day, and I'm in like the top 3 or 4 of the group out of 14, and there isn't much difference between me and the first, second, third, fourth person. Another squad is smoking me, and it's because they're a much faster, more proficient, more seasoned competitive group. Had I been in that group and saw those times ahead of me, I would have had context on, oh, this is what I should be going for.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Being fast on JV is cool, but
Yeah.
knowing what varsity is doing and having perspective of what's possible, because I
Yeah.
think that's really what kind of sets the tone. Is that if a GM throws a 6 second time and I throw a 10 second time, but someone else in my group throws a 9 second time, well, hold on. I should at least be going for 9 seconds. 10 seconds ain't going to cut it. A GM throwing down 5 or 6, I'm not a GM. Cool. But I will try to get as close as possible to that so that I can still recognize I'm not even close to any of those M's, GM's letters, right?
Yeah.
That's where I think having perspective of being around better shooters is important. So if you are the best person in your group, you
Yep.
need to get more friends.
Yeah.
And the good thing about shooting with you and Gamage and everybody else, um, and other people I shoot with, they're all better at different things.
Right.
And I'm good at
Yeah.
some of those things. I'm not the best. Gamage could shoot a flea off a horse's ass, not bother it.
Yeah.
And I could not do that. That horse is coming back with some holes and going to be glue. But I would like to work on that. Roe is
Yeah.
fast as shit. So I like to shoot with him,
Yeah.
right? And you are just a wild card. You give me so many different things that I don't think about that it's like, oh, okay, I should be okay. And if I combine all of that, I'm, a well more improved version of myself. So if I take little pieces here and there, great.
You're
But
like Thanos.
I just I just
You're
personally
like,
don't like being the best person on the range. I don't like it at all.
yeah.
I like to be around people that I can learn from or at least compete with. If I can't
Well,
learn from you that day, D, as long as we're pushing each other, I'm good with it.
yeah, I think that, like, again, like you said, and we've talked about, again, guys, I watch other people shoot. I already know I'm not the best thing that's out there. the one thing that I know in like a street altercation, I'm gonna put up my best effort. I'll tell you that. I will do a halo jump shot over a car and down on somebody.
Yeah.
That will happen. Now, those are things that you subconsciously would do because you're like, yeah, I could definitely pull this off. But from a competition perspective, like I watch other people that are better than me. I know they're better than me. Um, and they have things that I'm like, all right, they did something in this competition that I was like, man, they're squeaking out these times. What did I do wrong? That's how I look
Right.
at it. What did I do wrong and what can I do to fix it? I'm okay with that. That's how
Yeah.
I get better. And for me and you, we don't get a ton of time to shoot on the range, guys. Like, I haven't had a free weekend since January, the end of January. So I have to look at other people's film and look at my film, go to work silently in the background and be like, all right, game day is US, right? CCL, end of the month. That's my game day. That's what I've been working all this silent time for. And that's when
Yep.
we put it together. So
No,
it's
it makes total sense, man. I mean, it again, and that's where I come back to saying, when people say they haven't said it, but you know, I've caught wind of some notions. I outshot the MacBroz, or I outshot these guys that are on the internet.
yeah.
We're not out shooting as much as you guys, so I'm realistic on expectations.
Right.
But I do know that if it's stuff that I've been working on, I'm not doing well, then I'm gonna be pissed off with myself. But
Yep.
ultimately, I'm not looking to compete with anybody. I'm looking just to improve myself and have a good time while doing it. So yeah, I would say make some range friends, get out there, practice, be honest with yourself. You know, there's a phrase: if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Same thing at the gun range. If you're the best shooter in the group, how close is that competition? You know, if you're with some people that are pushing your ass, then yeah, cool. But if you are easily the best, you got to make another friend or two, or put yourself in a class or something to break you back down to build you back up.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I
No,
got
so,
one more last question for us, D, because I know it's getting late and I got an early
yeah.
morning. So it'll be a pretty easy one.
Okay.
Uh, what is the best do-it-all pistol size?
Ooh. Ooh.
So I would guess you
Man.
would just go off of
Okay.
like
That's a hard question because this is subjective. And
yeah,
apparently, again, I've been getting beat up for my subjectiveness today. This is a subjective statement. For me, I like a 4-inch gun. I think a 4-inch gun is perfect for me when it comes to a EDC
yeah,
4-inch gun. Some people can get away with 5-inch guns. I don't have the facilities for a 5-inch gun. I barely have the facilities for a 4.25 or a 4.5
yeah,
inch gun. So I settle on a 4-inch because it gives me the best. It gives me the maximum ability for my skill set from like a full size gun, 4-inch. I'm talking a full size gun that's 4-inch.
yeah.
So yeah,
So I believe a 4 inch is considered compact class.
correct.
Um, so yeah, I would say when it comes to do it all, this person didn't give real much information. My guess is that they're talking about self defense, or and self defense might be carry. They might also be thinking about home defense
On
because we
defense,
talked
yeah,
a long time ago with Kevin Dixie about is a home defense bedside table gun a real thing or not. Eventually, they all get put in your pants. Um, and then a range toy, a competition gun. So I think I'm with you, man. I think a compact. I mean, to me, even though you're wearing the Glock hat today, I think the staple is the compact, like a Glock 19. I think that
yeah,
size gun is is the standard. I mean, I've got my M&P 4-inch.
yeah,
I think this covers it. You can compete with it. You can carry with it. It can be good at your bedside. It's not too big to conceal. I think
yep,
it's perfect. And you might see a trend. So we'll do a quick rapid fire what I got here on the table here. So I got the 4-inch M&P. I got the 3.9-inch Staccato C2. Very closely related in size, right? I've got the 3.7 inch, I think,
Yeah.
Mac
Point
XL
seven.
macro.
Yep.
So again, around 4 inches or close to it. We always round up when we can. The fuse, 4.3 inches, right? So
Yeah.
around that 4.25. So I think anything 4 inches is probably the do it all size. I think anything that's sub that size, you might have to try a little bit harder, like a 3.6 MNP. You
Yeah.
have to try a little harder. I mean, not decking it out with ports and all the things. Just standard. You're going to try a little harder to make it work. This is
Yeah.
difficult to compete with. This is going to hit the bad guy, no problem, but you're going to feel it a little bit more in your hands. So I always say, well, I don't really get on the Glock bandwagon anymore. Glock 19 solid, that size gun. So anything in that size. So Echelon 4.0, because it's a 4 inch.
Yep.
CZP 10C,
Yep.
Canic, whichever one's the 4 inch. The Walther PDP, the
Yeah. The four.
G19. I mean,
Yep.
there's so many options that are out there that are in that size. I think that's
I,
probably the best option, because when you say do it all, I always say it's got to come home with you. So it's
yeah.
got to be on you.
Yeah. That's how I look at it too. If I'm looking at do it all, can I conceal this? Can it be on the outside of can it be on my hip? Can I conceal it comfortably? Can I have it on the bedside? Can I, what all those aspects to it? I think 4 inches that fine line. But I respect like the G45. I respect that weird M&P hybrid we made that M&P has never dropped, which is
Yeah,
kind of weird. Where I took the M&P 425 lower and slapped the 4 inch upper onto it,
yeah,
which gave me like a G45 type MMP
yeah,
gun. So I had a longer grip, more mag capacity, longer grip for those who need the more for the bigger grip for bigger hands. But I had the 4 inch slide, and I still feel like that could still be a do it all gun. So
yeah.
it was
My
set up.
Glock says there's no such thing as do it all, but I think that is. I think you would say that is a little short-sighted if you think about it. I have seen people that will take their duty pistol, let's just call it a G17,
Yeah,
with a light, with an RMR on it, and compete just fine with it. It may not be the one that's going to win them a national championship, but they can compete with it. It's also
yeah,
their training gun. It's also their bedside gun. It's also their duty gun, because maybe they're law enforcement, right? You
yeah,
can you can do all those things with that one size, but you take that same person and you put a 43X in their hand. Now you've limited what they can do. Now we were for a long time the Slimline boys, not the MacBroz. We were Slimline boys because they're
yeah.
running G48s and 43Xs all the time.
All
But
the
what we found was that it's difficult to keep up with other
long.
size guns, right? And
Yeah,
I think it's just because the nature of a slimline gun, mag capacity, even if you run, Shield 15 mags,
yeah,
it's difficult. And with stuff like the macro that's out there with 17 round capacity, like why would you not go with something a little bit bigger,
yeah.
So and Dusky in the chat is saying there may contrary to do it all, there's do a hell of a lot.
Do a
So
hell of a lot. That's right.
so that's true. That's a good point. But yeah, I think
I, and that's something that you and I have really tried to focus on when we do jump from gun to gun. Like when I select a gun, guys, from my options that I have here, that are almost all of them are pink for some weird reason. Um, I really do say, all right, my number one priority is can I conceal this? That's literally my number one. If I can conceal
yep.
it, then I'm like, all right, then this can be an everything gun
Well,
for
and
me.
that's because you and I are civilians, and that's
Yeah.
how we get around.
Yeah.
And I was talking to one of our buddies, I think Brian, who watches the show,
Oh,
and
our Brian.
yeah, and the a while ago people had said, Jay, you don't have a 5 inch MMP. Why not? And I said I did have one, and it just didn't work for me because I can't carry that. I'm
Yeah.
5'7". It's not going to work for my body type. Everything else is fine. Ergonomics, all that stuff is good. But when I broke it down, and again, I filmed myself. I saw myself struggling with the draw of a longer slide
Yeah.
on speed and just all that extraness of that gun wasn't working for me. It
Yeah.
shoots fine. It shoots fantastic. It was dime bagged and everything from Monsoon. It's one of those things where a 5-inch gun doesn't work for me. A 5-inch gun works for someone who's 6 foot plus tall and has all the leg room in their jeans for that, right?
Yeah.
But I don't have that real estate, so it doesn't work for me. So that's why I say for most people, I think the consensus average size, we'll just say male, is like 5'10", I think is the average size from what I was seeing a
Yeah.
long time ago. Um, so someone that's 5'10", probably a 4-inch, 4 1/4 inch gun.
Yeah.
4.5 if you stretch it a little bit, but I think a lot of people say 4 1/4 is great.
I'm
Cool, run that.
Man, I'm feeling the 4 1/4. I mean, I smuggled that thing in one of our competitions with the
Yeah,
compact lower grip on it. I didn't have any problems with the slide being a little bit longer with the shorter grip. I didn't have any problems at all.
yeah.
Um,
But it means you're talking a 1/4 inch, right?
right,
So that's not
right,
that big of a difference. That's
right.
that's like adding a compensator on a normal gun, right? So it's
Yeah,
not that big of a deal. I think it's when you're talking 4.5, 5 inches,
yeah,
that becomes a problem. And that's why, like in concealed carry league, it's interesting. The JTP division is anything bigger than 4 inches.
yeah. That's wild.
So just too big is considered anything 4 inches or larger. And
That's
Robbie Con
and
and
that's
so Robbie
fair.
Con's in the live and he's saying he's 6 foot, 5 inch doesn't work for him. Okay. So again, it's
Wow.
it's it's
Okay.
it's your walk of life, it's your preference. We talk about what works for you. But yeah, I'm the same way, man. Every gun Every gun I own has to conceal. And that also means I got to get a holster from Tier 1 Concealed. If they don't make a holster for it, it's going to be difficult for me to put it in the rotation or
Yep.
justify shooting it. And when I go do reviews, I like to do reviews of guns from concealment doing drills, not just at low ready. I don't like to do that. I mean, I'm not knocking when it does it. There's a reason why that's fine. Everybody can do holster draws.
Yeah.
But I like to think about the practicality of the investment of the firearm.
Yeah.
A 5-inch gun is not practical for me. Now,
Yeah. I respect that.
do I want to take the steel frame from the 5-inch M&P and put a 425 upper on it?
Oh, that would be spicy.
That I do want to do,
Yeah.
but that means I would have to have 2 new guns to make 1 gun.
Yeah, man. You'll have to do the science and let us know because
Oh,
I,
someone's already done it for me.
I
Someone's
don't
already done it
know.
for me.
I don't know the difference though. I don't know how much of a difference you're gonna feel on the 425 versus your 4 inch.
That's why I'm
Question.
hesitant on that, right? So I've got to reach out to you about the 425 thing. I talked to Brandon from 9 to 5 Tactical, and he has the steel frame staccato. I mean, MMP. And he swapped the 5-inch upper with his Dimebag 425 for his Pro Spec just to see if it would fit, which, yes, it fits. Of course it fits.
Yeah.
Everything, I think even a 4-inch will fit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just dust cover is different. It's just now it's got that steel lower, which is very, very weighty.
Yeah.
And if y'all haven't seen a theme of me lately,
He loves.
metal lowers are starting to be my bag. Um, so I don't know. We'll figure that out later on this year. We'll
Yeah.
see if that's something that's going to happen. But yeah. So I think that's a good last question. Ultimately, it's subjective. What works best for you.
Yep.
But I would say when everyone asks me or Darius for advice, like want to get a gun, which I get, it's like, all right, well, not a 320. We won't do that. So let's talk about what's your budget,
Yeah.
what do you consider do it all in your life, and then because what all are you going to be doing,
Yeah.
then let's talk about that. Let's talk about what that means, and then let's go hold some guns, and
Yeah.
and figure out what feels right for you. So yeah, great questions, guys. Please continue sending those in. You can send your questions to me or D directly via DM on Instagram. You can also go to our website, themacbroz.com, MACBroz. Go to themacbroz.com. We have a section where you can submit questions, and we'll bring them up on the next couple episodes. So keep sending those in. I would be remiss if I didn't read one more comment from the live before I close this out, and that is from my favorite pastor, Mr. Gamage, where he says the 320 is the new 6.7.
The three.
So
It is.
so for us gun enthusiasts, when you say 320, it's 6.7.
I heard Gamage is looking for everybody's 320 magazines. He's a collector now.
Robbie Khan, DM me. I want to talk about that, about the metal lower. But all right, I think that wraps us up. D, thanks. I wasn't expecting you to be on, but thanks for showing up. I appreciate you being here.
I'm glad I could make it, man. I was doing some interesting activities to get here on time.
We won't do anything to incriminate you. We won't mention anything online.
That's right.
All right, well, guys, that will wrap us up for episode 84 of the MacBroz. Hopefully you're getting used to this background. In the future, I'll be doing podcasts out here with a proper setup. I'm still working on getting my desk and stuff all together. But if you did like the show, please consider following us. We've got activity all over the place. We've got the website, themacbroz.com. That's where you can find all the content in one place. You could also find the podcast on the Firearms Radio Network. That's firearmsradio.net. That's where you'll find all of our episodes. You'll find all kinds of other podcasts that are out there as well. So wherever you get podcasts, just look up MacBroz, MacBroz. You'll find us there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, JWED 2.0. That's where I'm putting this podcast as well as Rumble. You can find the podcast there. But every week the podcast goes out on Mondays. So if you didn't catch the show on the live, Monday morning is when you can catch the audio and the video on YouTube or Spotify, wherever. And then Thursday next week, I'm dropping a new video about the ECM Precision R11 Edge. So twice a week, you're getting content from the YouTube channel. So I don't know a lot of people that are doing that. So go do that. Get your GunCon tickets. Damn it. Go get your GunCon tickets. GunCon.net. Use code JW5. See me, see the Gun Collective, a bunch of awesome people there. Have a good time in Ohio in the summer. Should be decent weather. So that wraps us up. Thank you for joining us for episode 84. We will see you all next week. Good night.
What do we got? We got ammo and ammo and ammo and ammo and ammo and ammo. What do we got? We got ammo and ammo and ammo and ammo and ammo and ammo. What do we got? Bing, bing, this a two-man operation. They gon' run out of targets and start a chariot operation. But no sweat, they gonna sell it and keep on with operation. If you wanna listen to them, let me show you where to find them. Darius and Josh got a podcast for you to find. When you listen, you can tell them I'm the one that had to guide them. Tell them Bing sent you, he's the one that had to guide you. Woo! What do we got?